Ashe Gems. Welcome to the Empress Empire podcast, y'all. Today we about to get into some tarot lessons. All right, we're still focusing on the Major Arcana. And I forgot to introduce myself, even though y'all already know who I am, but your host with the most, Ashanti, or the Sacred Empress. And yeah, we're about to be diving in. We're gonna start with the High Priestess, pick up where we left off in the last little session. So getting into the High Priestess, I'm gonna just go over this again for those that missed it. But the High Priestess is ruled by the moon. So when it comes to astrology, a lot of these cards or have a planet or a sign that they correspond with. And the High Priestess is the moon. The moon knows all of our deepest, darkest secrets. So it's very fitting that the High Priestess and the moon are like this. Because that just lets us know that the High Priestess is all knowing to some extent. I kind of like to see it as all knowing, and that's why I put in the little parentheses the Akashic records, because the Akashic records stores a lot of the information that comes from literally everywhere, all walks of life, all paths, universes, galaxies. Like it just gets all the way down to the depths. So that's why I associate it with the Akashic records. So when it comes to a general reading, if you guys are pulling a general spread, really not setting any intention as to what message you want from spirit, this will basically just be, I guess a indicator that you're on the right track. I like to look at it that way. Also reminding us that, the answers are within. We don't have to really go outside of ourselves to seek that information or whatever it is that we're looking for at the time. So usually that is what it'll relate to. When it comes to living relationships, honestly, going with your feelings, what you feel is very, very important. A lot of the times, our intuition could be telling us something and we could be going against it in relationships because somebody might look good or somebody might, put it down good, so sometimes we get in our heads and we think that things are one way when it's the other way. So the love relationships side of things, the High Priestess is telling us to use our discernment and to go with our gut feeling and stop trying to chase things. Okay. Finances and career. This is basically choosing a path that resonates with your soul, doing something that you feel called to do. Like, if you see this in a career spread or even a financial spread, the High Priestess is telling you, you know what you want. You know what path you want to take. So let's take it. Let's go there. Let's do it. She's encouraging you to take that leap of faith. And then when it comes to your spiritual journey, it's just usually taking the time out to tap into yourself. And get that, assurance, get that, validation if that's what you're needing, whatever it is that you need, you have that within yourself. You hold a lot of resources that you don't even know you're holding. So the High Priestess is making us aware of the unknown in all of these aspects. And that's why this card is so important. Because a lot of us overlook things. We don't really see things clear. We just like to pick and choose what we believe. And the High Priestess is like, well, this is the truth. So you can believe what you want, but this is the truth right here. So it's up to you to decide, So yeah, that's the High Priestess. Does anybody have any questions about the High Priestess or any comments that they want to make about this card? All right. Well, if y'all ready to move on.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Were you about to say something?
Oh no. I was just saying no. I was
Oh,
giving you
okay.
validation.
Oh, gracias. All right. So you guys ready to move on? I know we had covered this one last week, so we probably don't need to go over this one anyways. But I just want to make sure.
Yes,
Everybody's
thank you.
All right. Perfect. All right. So next, this is my favorite card. I got it hanging up on my wall. I got it tatted on me. Just kidding. I mean, I have the number tatted on me, but the Empress is my favorite card. I actually got my username from this card because when I had started reading tarot, I connected a lot with the Empress. And at the time I wasn't really sure why I connected with her so much because, I'm just learning tarot at that point. So I didn't really know like what the cards meant down to the depths. But when I first saw the Empress, I was like, ooh, like I like this card. It was something about it, especially when I got the Modern Witch tarot deck. I really liked it because, as a Black woman sitting on her throne, and I was just like, okay. I was like, okay, I see you, Empress. So it was one of those cards that, really stood out to me when I first started reading tarot. And I like to identify the Empress as the mother, whether it's just a nurturing figure, someone that's loving and caring and supportive, and someone that's also, oh God, dang, someone who's also inspiring. So we love the Empress. The Empress is like our mom, because like I said, y'all, this is a journey of the souls. Like the Major Arcana is going to represent it's going to represent the cycle of life, or the circle of life, if you will. So when we see the Empress, this is the mother. The mother is, who is the host for our bodies, when we come to Earth. So yeah, just planting that seed. So in a general spread, I like to think that the Empress is, showing up to give us, some inspiration, to free us from any, negativity, free us from any control, and remind us, that we hold the abilities to create and to, turn that nothing into something. So I basically put here, the mother of all the queens show up to inspire you to create. She is captivating, breathtaking, and mesmerizing. So there may be something that you have within you that you need to share with the world. You must be seen for your abilities. No more suppressing the things that make you feel good. So the Empress can be pleasure. She could be opportunities. She could be literally everything. Literally everything. So when it comes to love and relationships, this card can confirm when someone is showing up fully for a connection. This card can symbolize a healthy connection that's filled with reciprocity and security for all individuals. This can resemble a satisfying connection. Now, I said sympathize. Now, that could also play a very big part when this card comes out in relationships, because, you could be in a situation where you just got through a breakup, and that's the Empress coming through to comfort you and remind you that you're worthy and give you, a little pat on the back for, your hard work and dedication and your connections. So I didn't mean to say it, but obviously Spirit be speaking through me. So I'll be having to take on those messages too. So when it comes out in finances and career readings, the Empress herself is her own boss. She doesn't answer to nobody. She is her own boss. Okay, pure entrepreneur. This may confirm a high position and job title, entrepreneurship, or chance is on the table for creative endeavors. And the careers that I put here were painter, artist, musician, actor, designer, etc. My friend had asked me today about some cards. He had pulled a spread for himself, and he was like, what career would these be associated with? So if y'all want to do like a lesson one day where we discuss like what each card could mean as far as career, I'd be down to do that, even if we're like figuring it out ourselves, like together, and play like a little game or something, to test out our intuition and see what we grasp from the cards. We can do that. But yeah, when the Empress shows you down.
Yep.
I'm down with you because I have so many ideas. I've done this before. I've done like tarot classes before. And I always do like little games and, little things like that, just because I feel like it's fun and it's more interactive, which helps a lot of people learn a lot better. So
I was going to say, when you got to the Empress, I think that showed up. I'm late to the chat, the Hidden Gems chat and in the Zoom, but I remember somebody posted a spread and I think the Empress was actually in her spread. So that can kind of help her out. V actually posted it.
V.
The Empress was in her spread.
Yeah, we love that. We love when things like come together. I was just telling them about like my dreams and how my dreams have just been playing out today. So the synchronicities, I swear it's this new moon, and the moon really came and just threw everything out there. It's the universe. I love that. So when it comes to our spiritual journey, the Empress shows up to remind us to connect with our femininity. We hold masculinity, we hold femininity within us. So when this comes out, maybe an imbalance in either of those areas. So you may be too feminine or you may be too masculine. So you have to find a balance between the two. How can we balance the polarities, right? And there's possibly a possibility that you need some extra love and care. So be gentle with yourself at the current time. So whenever you guys pull these cards on yourselves, y'all can always come back and look at this as a way to interpret it for yourself. And I meant to send this to y'all in the group chat too. I don't know if I did last week, but I'm gonna send it this week because I wanted to just do like the slides with this stuff on it, so that way y'all ain't seen everything and sneaking off and reading everything that y'all ain't supposed to be reading. I want it to be a surprise. So yeah, that's the Empress. So I forgot to mention that the planet is Venus. So when you see the Empress, you think Venus, and Venus is right here. And 9 times out of 10, this is in the decks that I have, majority have the Venus symbol there, which is this right here. So that's the Venus. But yeah, so let me know when y'all are ready to move on. For those that are taking notes, and we will do just that.
Okay, I'm wanted to say that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying I was on finances.
You were gonna what?
I was on finances.
Okay. I heard you, but it broke up. But I got you.
I was just gonna say that, like, I love that you add the like planet and the the zodiac sign, because that's like my favorite part. I'd be like, how do people know that it's a Capricorn in my life? Like, how do you know? And they're like, oh, it's a lot of Capricorn energy in this reading.
Yeah.
But now I understand that like all of these like tools go hand in hand.
Right. They really do. That's why I wanted to do it. That's why I wanted to do it that way, because I didn't get that information when I started learning. It was more so like bits and pieces along the way. So I didn't even get to associate them with zodiac signs and planets until I'd say about a year in, like till when I mastered all of that. Because it varies. Like with the major arcana, you're going to see more of like specific zodiac signs, whereas the minor arcana is more like, well, this is just air signs. This is just, water, fire, etc. So with the major arcana, you'll see all the planets, you'll see the signs all within all of that space. And then with the minor arcana, it's just kind of free flowing based off of the suit. So if the suit is a water element, then we can say, okay, well, this is water energy here. A lot of people don't like to look at it that way. I've seen people on Twitter like go and debate about it, like, oh, you shouldn't be saying the zodiac signs or whatever. But I think that it gives perspective, and 9 times out of 10, it's accurate when I do it. So even today, I did a reading, and it wasn't even on any like the card specifically. It was more so the numbers. So when we get into numerology, I'll basically show y'all like what number is associated with which zodiac sign. Like, it would seem like it's so easy, but for people that aren't familiar with astrology, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, I get it, after you get the hang of it. So yeah, when we do numerology, I'll include the zodiac signs with that too, because I did a reading today and she kept getting 4 cards, and 4 is Cancer. So I was telling her, like, there's some heavy Cancer energy here, maybe a Cancer is inspiring you. And she was like, I'm a Cancer. And I was like, oh, well, there you go. Voila. So it's one of those things where it's my thing is, as a tarot reader, somebody that's been reading for a good little amount of time, it's okay to be wrong, so when you're making those guesses, like, do that, because the more you do that, the more accurate your readings can become, because you're just trusting what you're being given. And that showed me that the more that I trust what I'm giving out, the more God's going to give me those messages to give out, so that I don't have to be like, oh, does that make sense? It's going to make sense. It's going to make sense. I made a girl cry today off the strength of just trusting, my intuition. So that's one of the biggest things that I'm going to teach y'all, is how to trust your intuition. Because I think a lot of people struggle with that.
That's my biggest issue. I can't wait for that. Oh my God.
We struggle with that so bad.
That's so beautiful.
Like, I don't know. What does this mean? I don't like, we get so in our heads about it. Like, we think we're crazy. We're not. Not crazy.
Yes, that is definitely me. I be thinking I'm crazy, and then when I just blurt it out, and they're just like, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, why do I doubt myself so much? I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to do, especially when you, like, for me, I didn't start getting into like trusting my intuition like intentionally until I started reading tarot. So my whole life, I'm just kind of free willy and all up in the, like, I'm just chilling, And then when I started to read tarot, it was more like intentional, like listening to my intuition and following that. So tarot helped me trust my intuition, whereas I'm growing up not even know what an intuition is. Just kind of going through life.
It's
Like,
the same for me. I was actually I got a reading from someone, and she was like, I don't know why, but for everybody else, I was doing the self-care deck, but for you, I wanted to do the High Priestess deck. And she was just going on and on and on, telling me stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I pulled some cards for myself. She was like, you pull fucking cards? You're supposed to be pulling cards for the collective. She was just going in, and I was just like, what, girl? Like, no, I'm not. Like, I just pull stuff for myself to give me guidance for the day. And she was like, no, you're a fucking Pisces. She just started calling me out. Like, y'all really psychic, and y'all be acting like y'all not fucking psychic. I was like, how you know I'm a Pisces? Wait, I feel like you beat me up. Hold up, back up.
Where does information come from?
Really connected to
I'm
the
a
High
Pisces
Priestess
too.
card because of that. Yes. Hey,
Pisces. I love that.
But she was cursing me out, like in a good way. Like, girl, like you really not tapping into your power. You know what you're supposed to be doing here, but you scared. I was like, wait, stop. I started crying.
Yeah, it's like that too. Cause even for me, I had to realize like our gifts are looked at as a bad thing. This is something that's taboo. Like, oh, you reading cards, you use your intuition, you going to hell. Like people be so quick to, make
my
this
dad
out to be such a bad
believe
thing.
in God. I'm like, all I do is talk about spirit, source, the universe, God. Like, why would you ever think that I don't believe in God? This is another tool, another means for me to connect with God. Like God is flowing through all of us. Like
exactly. And see, I was always like, when I started my journey, I was taught, and this is by spirit, because I didn't have like a guru, a mentor or nothing. I had my spirit guides, and they would always tell me like, this is how you connect with God. Other people might connect through the Bible and church and other things, but this is your way of connecting to God. So I held that close to me because I was at that time where I was just kind of concerned about what my family was going to think when they found out I was reading cards. So there'd be times where I felt a lot of shame about being a tarot reader because it felt like I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm doing the wrong practice or whatever, but it felt right to me. And that was that confirmation that, okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing, regardless of how anybody else feels. This is how you connect. Everybody connects in their own way. And nobody can tell you how to connect to God. Like, what? Exactly. If God is telling you to pick up those tarot cards, let's connect through these tarot cards. What you gonna do? You're gonna pick the cards up. Like, you're not gonna be like, no, God, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I don't trust you.
And kind of to like talk about like the intuition thing. So I got that reading, and then I was meditating one day, and it was just like, do 5 free readings. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I did 5 free readings. All of them were spot on. And I was like, oh my God, she was right. Like, I was scared. Like, it scared the shit out of me because I just picked up a deck like a week before that. And I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to be doing readings for people? But I was reading the, like, looking at the guidebook, like, okay, this is what it says. And I was clear with people, like, these are free because I'm new and I'm just like trying to see, test out my gift or whatever. People like, you were so right. Oh my God.
Isn't that like the best feeling ever? That is the best feeling ever. Like, I don't care if I'm just shooting blanks around. I'm just making up. It's the best feeling when somebody's like, all that made sense. I'd be like, what?
Yes.
So you mean I
was using the voodoo, and I was using the voodoo tarot deck.
But my intuition always say, pick this card. Now I just go with it. Even though I doubt it so hard. I'm like, should I pick? This is the card? Are y'all serious? This is what card I need to get?
One of the symptoms I know they want me to grab a card is like my hand feels magnetized to it, or if my hand feels hot.
Yeah. I'll get that urge. Like, I'll be like, pull some cards, go on live, do this, do that. I'm like, at this point, I just surrender. Like, God's using me, to help other people. So it's one of those things where I can't be like, no, I ain't going live. I'm like, I don't know who needs a message from me today. I don't know who needs to pick me up. Like, it's one of those things where this has helped so many people. Like, I'll have people reach out and be like, that reading you gave me really helped me and all that. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like, I know I'm doing something right. Like, there's no negative reactions with these readings. Like, I hate when people say like, oh, this is demonic. And because it's like, no, it's not. Like, it'd be different if I'm, my intention is to mislead people and misguide people, you know what I'm saying? But, my intention is to help people heal and to seek healing within themselves. So it's it's more about the intention than it is about the tool itself,
And people don't know that tarot has a lot of biblical references as well.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, that's a fact.
tarot is a part of the Bible. Like I feel like tarot is for us to
divination, period.
Yeah. I mean, people use the Bible for divination. So I just they love throwing that around. Like it's cool when y'all do it.
That's a problem
when we do it though. When we decide, oh yeah, I'm about to get into it. I'm about to read this Bible and pull out some messages from God. Why can't I do the same thing with some tarot cards? Like, just because it's not the Bible doesn't mean that it's bad, you know? Like, I think Christians have to get out of that mindset of anything that isn't Christianity is bad. Like, that's not the case. Like, let's pipe down.
My mom was the same way with freaking crystals. She's like, oh, she saw me using crystals, and she's, I was telling her like, oh, it's like rose quartz is good for self-love and compare. I'm teaching her about them. So I finally get her own starter kit. She was like, I've been so positive, but I still believe in God. I'm like, why do you have to make that caveat? Why do you have to say that? Like, didn't God create the earth? Like, these stones come from the earth. I'm so confused. Make it make sense. Oh, but I still believe in God. God is my savior. And I'm like, girl, shut up. Like,
he can still be that. God can
sense.
still play that role. That changes nothing. Have both.
Like, why would God create all this just for you to be stuck on one thing? Like,
it makes me feel so bad for them because they're conditioned to think that they can't seek outside of their own beliefs. Like, it's very limiting because there's so much more to this world than just one religion. Like, there's so many religions. I'm studying world religions right now for school, and like I'm reading about religions I never even heard about. So for people to be so quick to just ostracize different religions and different cultures and beliefs, it just goes to show who created that religion. It just goes to show who's pitching that to people, because it makes it very hard as a Black woman to be spiritual because I'm supposed to be at the church. I'm supposed to be reading the Bible every Sunday. It's one of those things where you start getting put into a category based off your race. Like, oh, if you're Black, you're a Christian. If you're white, you're a Catholic or Jewish or whatever. Like, no, my religion, my beliefs don't have a look to it. It's just my lifestyle. Like, that's how I live. Like, it's not I'm over here because this is a skin color that I have, So I hate that beliefs and religion has split people up so much that we can't even respect other people's customs.
Religion was made for that.
It
was made to divide.
Like, ain't nobody gonna be Christian all their life. Like, I wasn't even Christian when I was a kid. Like, it was one of those things where I would always say, oh, I'm spiritual. I'm not really religious, because I felt like religion was it was just too limiting for me, honestly.
It is very, and then
too many limitations.
each religion praises one God, the same God, same
yes.
So I don't know why they don't understand that either. Like, all we need to do is just come together. Like, religion
find commonalities, like find ways that we're saying the same thing in different ways. Like,
saying the same thing in different ways.
Yeah. And to the person that said that their mom was like trying to demonize crystals, like, they use crystals in the Bible. Like, that's when I found out everything was like a lie. I was like, what? They use amethyst and lapis
Jade is talked about amethyst,
all of that in the Bible. They be quick to
demonize certain stuff like that, but they be the main ones that have never even read the Bible, so they wouldn't even know. Like, they saying stuff based off of society norms and stuff like that. They really and truly do not know, because they don't even do the research to even know like what's really demonic, what's really bad for us. They don't know at all.
And it's crazy because within Christianity, it's so like, oh, you can't question God and all that. So it's one of those things where I guess the people just feel like, oh, well, I'm not going question God. I'm not going to look up. I'm like, why? I don't know. It always puts things into perspective for me.
Get in trouble as a child because I would question it.
Yeah, my nana did not play that.
Sunday school, did not play that. Why is she in here?
I'm like, why did God create hell? Like, why he create hell? Why he create that place?
Like, why he
that was me. I was always open to the possibility, but I never questioned it. But I was always open. Like, I always felt like this wasn't it. Like, I feel like it was always something more to it.
Right. Yeah, that's how I felt too. Because I'm like, this can't be. And see, for me, it was like, it just didn't feel righteous. It felt very like do as I say, not as I do. Like it felt like one of those things where it was like, you know, we're all just sitting here practicing, but we not, you know, we're preaching, but we're not practicing. We're all just, you know, trying to, you know, be Bible thumpers, but we don't want to actually live based off of how the
live by
Bible,
the Bible.
you know, yeah, because it's like it says love thy neighbor, but the moment you pull out a crystal or a tarot card, you a demon and you need to go to you going to hell. And,
why you not trying to love me?
Right.
If I'm demonic and got the demon in me, why you not trying to love me to get it out of me? You just adding to it.
But they have prophets in the church though, and that's what I don't understand. Like they have prophets in the church. When they tell you who needs to come up to the altar and get a prayer, you're getting a reading. The lady's sitting there telling you everything about your life and you never met her before. And I'm like, what the hell? How did she know all this?
And the
church
church
the
is
pastor
really
sitting up
just
here
a
saying,
big ass
"Oh,
altar.
I got
That's
my
all it
message
is.
of the day from Spirit." Like,
yeah.
So you just gonna sit up here and tell us you just got done meditating? Like, what?
Exactly, at an altar.
You gotta
at
stay away from you.
Altar.
You out here
That's
meditating.
what church is an altar.
Like, right.
They don't want to make the connection because it would kill the whatever fantasy they have in their mind about.
Yeah, I guess they think. I think they think that Christianity is this all elite religion. Like everybody has to be a part of it. Like, I don't see any Islamic people converting people. I don't see any Jewish people trying to get people to be Jewish. Like everybody
giving
respects.
cult.
Yeah,
it's
that's
giving cult.
just bothers me.
It
bothers
is.
me.
And Jehovah's Witness. And Jehovah's Witness, they got that bad.
Yeah,
they will pull up
I
at
haven't
your.
seen them in a minute.
They don't knock on my door no more.
I haven't seen them in a long time
my
either.
mom
Actually
grew up Jehovah's Witness, and I was told that Jehovah's Witness, they know about psychic abilities and stuff, but they hide it. My great grandmother was actually very psychic, and she were like people in our family were quiet about it. They didn't like when she would come up and tell them things that they didn't want to know at the time. They didn't like that at all, so they tried to repress her. So I feel like that's the reason why I repress so much today. I feel like I'm supposed to break that cycle in my family that we should be able to use our psychic abilities and not be shamed for it.
Yeah,
because
that's
growing
beautiful.
up Jehovah's Witness, they knew, like my mom told me, the Jehovah's Witness, they know about psychic abilities, but they think it's demonic. They think it's not of God, so that's why they don't use it.
See,
but I have a lot of people in my family that's very psychic and don't use their abilities because of the belief system that they have.
Right. It's so weird though. Like, why would it be a thing if God didn't create it?
Right. Exactly.
Like y'all they just be contradicting themselves. Just big contradictions.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then they don't understand how they incorporate it into their everyday life. Like just like with hoodoo, like all of our grandmoms and moms have gave all of us freaking superstitions and you know, don't put your hair, burn your hair, don't put your purse on the floor, don't sweep your foot, but you say that is demonic. All of that stuff is a part of hoodoo and of African folk.
Exactly. Some of those things where it's like
my mom
Jesus
can't even
was
tell me why she be telling me not to sweep her feet. She'll kill you if you sweep her foot. Man. She want to fight, but you Christian.
It's wild. All right, y'all. We gonna move on. Let's move on real quick. We could go to the emperor before we have a whole debate here about religion. All right, but this one's more fitting for the conversation we're having because the emperor represents structure. This is the father figure. This is our own internal structure. And I should have incorporated the chakras too, but we'll get more into that with the other things. But with the emperor, this is our root. This is where we feel the most comfortable for is Cancer energy. And with Cancer, it's all about foundation, stability, being at home, feeling at home. So the father is supposed to provide that safe environment for us. So within tarot, the emperor, we see this as someone that's very well established. We see this as someone that's, they take care of everything. They got a good head on their shoulders. They're a leader. They're, they on top of it. So when you pull this card for yourself, and it comes out, I always like to look at it as a good omen. I never like to look at the emperor and be like, oh, this is bad. Like I don't have that that idea of the emperor being like this bad card. I think it's just a reminder that we either need to bring in more stability or some other things. So we're going to get into that. So in a general aspect, the emperor card is about masculine energy being forthright, righteous, and stepping into the leadership role. The goal is to be self-sovereign, not to rule and infringe on others' rights. A true leader can stand on their own and not have to wait for others' decisions. He makes all important decisions from an energy of clarity, power, authority, spiritual intelligence, and righteousness. So when it comes to love and relationships, this card could show up as needing to be the one to step up in relationships, learning how to stand up and do things on your own for yourself. And it could also mean that you or people in your relationships are too bossy, trying to dominate others, or are too headstrong, no longer being cooperative. So in finances and career, this card could represent to step into your ambitious energy, pulling out that masculine energy that is needed to fulfill your desired career or gather the resources you need for your life. The emperor goes out and brings the blessings back home. So within our spiritual journey, this is basically where we're learning how to make our divine masculine energy work for us. You are the leader and authority of your own life. So no one has that power over you. And even with this card in itself, it's one of those cards where it just reminds you to be in your power. A lot of people don't even realize their power. A lot of people don't even realize their worth. We settle daily, day in, day out. Forgot to mention this is also Aries, by the way, y'all. So if y'all ever pull the Emperor Aries energy off rip, and you'll see usually in the actual tarot, it'll be the Mars sign there. So the Mars and the Venus sign are, I think they're similar to an extent. I think the Venus is, the female reproductive, and then the Mars is not really, this isn't Mars specifically, but Aries and Mars go hand in hand. So yeah, anyways, with the Emperor, you'll see the Mars sign. So that'll be your little indicator that this is Aries. But yeah, with this card, whenever I see the Emperor, I just think, okay, I got to get it right. I got to get it together. Like this is the get your shit together card. Okay. So when you see this card, if y'all need a quick little translation, that's what this card means. This card means get your shit together, or you got your shit together. Either way it goes, somebody got to get their shit in order somehow, some way. And another thing I'll teach you guys is how to read the spreads together. So instead of reading like the individual cards, I'll teach y'all how to put everything together and read it that way, so that it's one piece and not these separate cards, so that way y'all's readings flow more efficiently, and it doesn't feel like you're just reading, definitions when you're reading the cards. It's like you're putting it all together like an equation. So y'all let me know when y'all are done with this slide, and we'll move on to the Hierophant. I was going to say High Priestess for some reason. High Priestess, what you trying to tell me, girl? She trying to tell me something.
I actually wanted to touch on the Emperor. First and foremost, I want to say you did an amazing job with these slides, because I love how you break it down for each category, because I also have a funny story with the Emperor. Mm-hmm. So I too have the Modern Day Witch Tarot. And one day I'm like, okay, I'm feeling the urge to pull some cards for myself. So I noticed how the Emperor was missing, right? So I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, I cannot find him. I felt like my deck was so incomplete to the point I would not pull no cards until I found him. Mm-hmm. So a few days later, tell me how he was mysteriously in my purse. My purse was zipped up. Girl, I've been in my purse so many times and did not see him in there. So crazy. I'm like, how did he get in here? I say, yeah, this got to be a message. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that you put finances, because I automatically knew, like, okay, if he's in my purse, right? So I just want to say, I love how you broke that down.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I feel like it's necessary. Like I said, I told y'all this last week when I had started reading, I only had the general. That's it. That's all the book that I got. I think it provided like a little bit of love, a little bit of, but it's one of those things, like when you're learning, like it's best for you to know in all these categories rather than just being this general, because it's so vague. Like, I got to apply this same message to every single reading, when every single reading is different, everybody's energy is different. Like reading the card itself isn't going to be the same in every single reading that you do. So that's why I put it like this, because I wanted to make sure that y'all knew, like, we're not going to sit here and read these cards the same old way. Like that helps you expand your own intuition. So when you read the cards, you're not getting the same message every single time. You're getting something new, you know? Like even now, still to this day, I'm learning more about the cards, because when I read for people, I'm getting a whole new meaning, a meaning I ain't never discovered until that moment where I don't have to look it up. It's just coming through me now, because I've gave myself that space to, see beyond these, specific definitions or these specific, ways to look at the cards. So yeah, I'm glad y'all appreciate that, because, I figured as somebody that I wanted to make this something that I needed, because I know that it'll help more people and it'll be more efficient than reading a book or, watching a little YouTube video, because it's interactive and it's fun, and tarot's lit. Tarot's really lit. Like I love tarot. I love being a tarot reader, and I love sharing this information with people, because I feel like, it helps people to an extent. It's not something that you need to just, depend on for the rest of your life, but it's something that, is a tool that you can use to help you get through certain things, especially if Go ahead. What happened? Somebody about to say something? Like I cut somebody off. But anywho, I don't even remember what I was saying. I don't know. Y'all still working on this?
I don't know who that was.
I don't know what happened. I was like, they trying to say something. But it's hard.
You were talking about you don't want it to be something that you can depend on. I actually wanted to touch on that. Like when I got the reading, someone was saying like after a while, like you're not going to need them cards. You get downloads directly to spirit. And I was just like, well, I don't even trust myself. So where the hell does that come from? But she was basically saying, like, just like you said, like use the cards until you feel confident enough to trust the messages that come directly through you.
Right. Yeah.
And
I'm not that big on just fuck the cards. Like, I don't know. I'm somebody like I don't need them anymore, but I still use them because I feel like it just helps me expand. Like it's helped me get to a place that I have been able to channel for people, and it's accurate down to the nail, like down to the details, like, and I wouldn't have been able to get here without these cards. I always use my cards as like a way to practice my gifts. So I always encourage people to continue using them, even if you do feel like you've reached a place where you don't need them, because, it really builds that skill, it really builds your strength in whatever area that you're working on. Like when we do cover y'all's oh my gosh, what was it? When we do cover y'all's psychic abilities and y'all figure out like where your, strongest, abilities are, we're going to build on that, and with the cards, you can build on that. Whereas there's other things like Reiki and astrology and, Akashic record readings where you don't need the cards at all. When it comes to your psychic abilities, this right here is the bread and butter to get you more familiar with, how your body communicates with you. So I still look at it as something that I'm gonna use. I don't want to say I'm gonna use it till I die, but I know as of right now, like I love my cards, and I don't know if it's because I spend so much money on them that I don't want to just give up using them right now, get my money's worth, and then ditch them. But I'm not one of those people that feel like, oh, you don't need them, stay away from the card. Like use them to your heart's content. Like it's fun. It's, it's innovative. You can do so many different things with the cards. You can draw out different spreads. Like it's fun, and that's how I had to look at it when I started, is to have fun with it. Like, don't be sitting here trying to take it serious and pick every single message apart. Like enjoy it, because it's an experience that, we weren't given for hundreds of years, you know what I'm saying? Centuries, damn near. We weren't able to use our abilities. So when I started getting my tarot cards, I just felt my ancestors like, be so proud of her. Like, we so proud of her. She's out here using her gifts, because I've been thinking about it. I'm like, our ancestors didn't get to really practice their spirituality out loud, So when I do it, I'm doing it to I've got the tarot cards, I got the oracle cards, I got the incense burning, I got it all. I got it all.
I kind of want to touch on what you said too about being able to not read the cards intuitively one by one. When I first started reading cards, that's how it was. But then I noticed, like, I would, especially when I like check in with myself or with my team, I'll notice I'll kind of start off like that, but then I'll end up just drifting off like when I read, and I end up just doing the whole spread together, or like I'll repeat and circle back. And I'm just like, wait a minute, I didn't need to do them one by one. Right. I just did it all like in one big walk. Like, so I think that is beautiful how you are, because what you're doing is you're help healing that generational, trauma of us not being allowed to embrace our spirituality, especially as Black women. We are very connected to spirit naturally. So you're healing that, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be here.
I'm grateful to be doing it, honestly. Like I told y'all last week, like this is fun for me. Like this isn't something I'm like, oh, gotta do the tarot master. Like I told my mama, make sure you get me at the house before 7, because I went to the gym. So I was like, make sure I get to the house before 7, because I gotta teach today. I'm teaching. So it's one of those things that I love it. Like this makes me happy. It makes me feel good. Conversations we've been having have been amazing. Like, these things I don't get to do on a day-to-day basis. Luckily, this is my career path, but this is still something that, I haven't been able to really get myself out of my deadlift just yet. So we're working towards it, but even then, doing it for free is fun, so it's one of those things I enjoy. It's good, got good vibes in here. We just chilling, doing our thing. And we just gonna keep the ball rolling. So Mondays are dedicated to Tarot Masterclass until y'all have mastered tarot. Until y'all have just mastered it. But yeah, are we ready to move on? Or I'm still taking notes and stuff on this slide.
We can move on.
You can move on?
Yeah.
All right. Is that a collective move on, or is that a...
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Collectively move on.
Collectively, we're moving on collectively. Well, shit, I can't move on. All right. So we got the Hierophant next. I think we'll stop at the Lovers. So we'll do this card and then we'll do the Lovers. And then, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I think we should be good next week to honestly wrap it up. To be honest, we ain't got that many. I mean, we got a lot of cards. We got like 15 cards, but I don't think it's gonna be too bad. I think we'll be straight. So with the Hierophant, I look at the Hierophant as God, source, and spirit. The planet, or not even the planet, but the zodiac sign that's associated with the Hierophant is Taurus, because Taurus rules stability, Taurus rules patience, Taurus rules tradition, things like that. So that is what the Hierophant consists of. So this card represents creating and establishing traditions, whether physical or spiritual, or even just altering already established spiritual doctrines. What solid ground do you stand on? What does your structure or foundation look like? So when it comes to love, what does your self-love foundation look like? What is the foundation of your current relationships? What was the basis of your old relationships? How have your relationships reflected in more values or ideas? So when I think of the Hierophant, y'all, and this is just, this ain't even a shot in the dark. This is just something that I found along my, journey of reading tarot. This card specifically is going to highlight a lot of your, spiritual debt, your karma, all of that. So when you see this card come out in a spread, this ain't gonna be every spread, but if you're intending on, pulling the Hierophant, like let's say right now, I'm gonna look at, I'm gonna go in my deck and I'm gonna look for the Hierophant. They say like, you can look at the, I'm gonna just do it first and then I'm gonna talk about it. But I'm gonna find it. And when I find it, the card in front of it is gonna be my karma. I don't really have karma in this lifetime, but we'll get into that on a different day. We're gonna look. We're gonna see where the Hierophant is. So the card in front of it's gonna be my karma, and the card behind it is gonna be my way to clear it, basically. Whenever I find it, this card at, it's so many cards. Here it is. Okay, the Hierophant. In front of it is the Hermit, and behind it is the Knight of Swords. So my karma essentially is getting out of my comfort zone. So I guess in my past lives, I was just, hiding from people or hiding from the world. And then my way to clear that debt is by communicating with the Knight of Swords. So communicating, doing things like this. You see how spirit works? They make the message, timely. Everything just be right on time.
Yeah, right in your face.
Literally,
it's
they're
like
yep.
whoa.
like, yeah, you were just talking about this, but here's a message that says the same thing you were just talking about. So yeah, the Hierophant is basically going to highlight a lot of your, baggage, a lot of your, cycles or things like that. So if you want to know more about your lessons, check in with the Hierophant. Okay. So when it comes to finances and career, this is basically where you're setting up the foundation. This is where we're going to be planning, organizing, coming up with routine. That's what the Hierophant is going to, symbolize, is those specific things. So when it comes to spiritual journey and, our path, this card will represent a time of figuring out what you need to stand on. Where's your spirit guiding to get grounded in who you are, and what traditions need to be kept and which ones need to be reformed? Excuse me. So again, when looking at the Hierophant in your spreads, it's usually one of those cards that, I see it and I'm like, the spirit has a part of this. God has a part in this. Like, this isn't just happening for no reason. Like, this has purpose. This means something. So when you do see this card come out, it's no coincidence. It's just a reminder or even an omen that, God is playing a role in whatever is going on in your situation. Obviously depending on what you're reading about. But 9 times out of 10, like if I pull for like people that are in relationships or somebody's interested in somebody and the Hierophant comes out, I'm like, oh, you're supposed to learn something from this person. This person's teaching you something, whether it goes good or bad. This person's meant to be in your life to teach you something. So it's usually how I see it, just because I feel like the Hierophant's like, God ordered this, God constructed this. It isn't you made a fucked up decision and you just got to reap what you sow. This has already been, pre-planned. This is by design. So voila. All right, my hands are cold. But yeah, after this card, we're gonna do the Lovers. I don't know. How are y'all feeling? Y'all want to keep going?
I can.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'm fine with it if you are.
All right.
Yes, I'm down to keep going.
Okay, perfect. Because the more we get done this week, the quicker we can get to the easy stuff. I won't say this is hard. It's just more stuff because it's more based off the individuals. Whereas when we get to the minor arcana, all the minor arcana cards are going to be on one page. So it's going to be easier to read those. Whereas this one, we, kind of getting more familiar with the major arcana, which I think is very important. I think with the minor arcana, they are just as important, but 78 cards, 78 cards dedicated to, oh man, no. So I made it easier for the minor arcana to where like, it's just Ace of Swords, 2 of Swords, 3 of Swords, 4 of Swords, all on one slide. So that way it's not, we going from page to page to page and this whole thing. So the minor arcana is not going to look like this. Just for the simple fact that the major arcana is just less cards. Honestly, that's the only reason why I did it that way. But yeah, y'all just let me know when y'all are done with the Hierophants. We're going to move on. We'll move on to the Lovers. I got to turn this fan off. It's getting a little chilly in here and I got a sweatshirt on. Oh yeah, tomorrow, you guys, I'm going to be going live same time with someone named Kay. So I had just posted recently about how I wanted to have people on my podcast just so we can talk, have different conversations. So I have someone named Kay coming on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about how to utilize our power and really, take on what Spirit's given us and how to utilize it and, apply it to our daily lives. So if y'all wondering how to get things to work in your favor, then y'all go get y'all's tickets for that tomorrow. Wednesday, me, Ty, and a special guest are going to be discussing death and rebirth. This is actually a near-death experience, survivor. So they, had a near-death experience, and they'll be sharing their story about that too. So y'all can sign up for that Thursday. Going to be talking about how to find that happiness, within yourself. Because a lot of us, we look for it outside of ourselves. Like it is the cars, the clothes, the men, the women, the thing, everything. We think it's other things instead of things that, come within. So we're gonna be talking about that. And then Friday, we'll be talking about mental health and all that good stuff. So get y'all's tickets for this week. Next week, I ain't posted or talked about that just yet. So we're gonna, oh, dang. We're gonna keep that on the hush for now. I might, because I thought about it. I didn't go live I don't know if I went live yesterday or not. I don't even know. My mind. I don't think I did, actually. I don't think I went live yesterday. But I will be going live tonight because I even told myself I gotta go live because I've just been running around like a chicken with its head cut off. But now that I have my schedule in order, we should be Gucci. So you're gonna be seeing more lives from me. All right. So we good to move on, or y'all need some more time on this slide? Probably. I probably do.
I'm straight.
I thought it was so cool earlier how you mentioned about the chakra cards, because I wanted to ask you that when we were on the Empress earlier, because the Empress gives me major sacral energy for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why she does. Yep. But I'm a sacral authority, and I was gonna ask, like, is it possible to take, for instance, the Empress and heal and work with our sacral chakra area?
Yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, I have a tapestry of the Empress right here, and I think it just kind of exudes like the Empress energy anyways. Like, I would recommend it. And even when you were saying too, I think it was you that was talking about like how the Emperor was in your purse. It made me think of how we can use these cards to attract a specific energy, So if y'all want to have a discussion one of these weeks about that, like what each card would be good for as far as attracting stuff, we can do that too. Just because y'all giving me ideas as I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, okay, I got a lot of stuff I could be covering. Like, it don't have to stop, because I mean, this is a limited amount of information that we get from these cards, so we can really do just about anything. So I might make that one of the lessons for one of the weeks after we finish all these cards. Lord have mercy. I'll make sure to send y'all these slides too from today. So that y'all can look back on them just in case, I missed something, or, just want to have access to them. Or for those that, came a little bit later, just let y'all see those. So make sure that y'all are in our group chat if y'all want to tune in and make sure that y'all are caught up with everything. But yeah, I didn't even take my selfie. I wish y'all were on like the camera so we could all take like a big old group selfie for Instagram, but I don't know how we do that because Zoom's a little weird, but it's cool. I'll just take a quick little picture anyways. I'm not even posing. But learning, no, I'm teaching. I'm teaching today. But I don't know if I should make Mondays like the day where we just learn shit. Like after tarot, we can get into like, right now I'm learning about world religions. So we can learn about the different religions. We can learn about different deities. Even last week I was doing like a symbols conversation. I think it was Thursday. We talk about the different symbols and what they mean. So we could have a discussion on that too, or just learn about the different symbols and signs and, things like that. Cause I feel like, why not expand our minds? So we could take it there.
How do you feel about trying different divination tools such as like pendulums and stuff like that? Or are you only interested in cards?
Oh, I'm into everything. I love pendulums. I actually don't have one anymore. I had one. I don't know where it went. I remember I bought one and my brother broke it. I think it was an evil eye pendulum, but I like pendulums. I enjoy cards, but I like to just try different things. Like, sometimes I use candles, like the flame of a candle. I'll read that. So I take it there. I take it there with divination. I try not to be that person that sees everything as a sign, but sometimes spirit be speaking to me. Like, it's not one of those things where I'm being delusional. Like a lot of people say it's got spiritual psychosis. Like a lot of this stuff spirit be sending me directly because they know I'm paying attention to the message, So I'm with it. I'm with it. I like pendulums. I like the little dowsing things too. Like I be seeing people on TikTok using the little dowsing rods, and I just be like, maybe I need to get some. And I have some I have charms. So if y'all want to know how to read charms, I read charms too. And I have runes. Now I've never read runes. I didn't practice. I have some, or I had some. I might have to get some more because I know that they are gone somewhere.
It's funny you said that about the charms in the runes, because I was just gonna say, how do you feel about bones? Because I kind of been like I'm just like, dang, do I want to try bones? Because I was gifted a fluorite pendulum from one of my friends, and I thought it was kind of creepy, but in a good way, because I've like been interested in, like you said, just expanding my mind and trying different tools.
Right.
And the pendulum was one of them. And it was so funny how she gifted me one out of nowhere. And then I was like, okay, well, what else
There's
am I
so many
feeling
different forms of
connected to?
divination. You know what? While we're sitting here, wait for everybody to get ready. I think I have it's right here too. Look, I ain't even gotta get up. So this deck right here, it talks about all the different like divination tools. So we can go through them because why not? You have to let me know when y'all done.
Ooh.
But yeah, they got all kinds. They got the crystal ball. They got okay, thanks for distracting me. Yeah, we got numerology. I'll just show y'all, take y'all through the cards. Got numerology here.
That's nice.
We got the Wheel of Fortune, talking about faith. I don't know. Now, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is another word for intuition, but this is pre-henology. I don't know what that is, though. So I might look that up. They got psycho.
That is a nice deck.
It is. It is really nice. And it's like the divination of the ancients. So it's like it covers everything. Not everything, but like, it's enough. It's like 50 something cards. So covers enough for me. So we got psychometry or
that's what it's called.
Yeah, divination of the ancients. I'll show y'all the box so y'all can see it. I got it on Amazon. I think it's like $15. So Amazon got the deals. So I know this form of divination is where you can like hold something in your hand and like read like where it's from, how old it might be, who it belonged to, so on and so forth. And I think that's pretty cool. I've never tried it before because I don't really do in-person, readings like that. I'm more so like virtual. But hopefully in the future I have like in-person clients and I get that opportunity to try out, those types of things.
That would be cool. They say that practice is like really good for exercising like medium readings, like mediumship readings. I forgot what it's called when you hold an item and the person that it belongs to comes to you and stuff. I'd be scared to try stuff like
Yeah. See, the thing with mediumship is like it's so different for everybody. Like, I know for me, like I'll hear stuff and I'll feel stuff, but then like you got people that see somebody right there, and I'll be like, I can't see them like that, but I feel you, and I can hear you, and sometimes that's enough for me because if you show up, I might,
I don't know what to do.
I might pass out.
What to do?
I'm like, are you real for real? Are you real? I'm gonna be acting crazy. I'm like, are you really
like
there?
when you in them scary movies and they brush their teeth, and then when they put up, it's like a person behind you. Bitch, I will fall out.
That's how I be in the mirror. So in my bathroom, I have a mirror in front, like the sink, and I have a mirror behind me. So when I'm looking in the mirror, I'll just be looking at like there's like a infinite mirror like in the mirror by the sink. So I'll just be looking at it and I'll be like, what if one of them just turned their head or blinked or did some shit that I wasn't doing? Like I'm
my gosh. I would freak the hell out. Oh my God.
If I'm just I got a blank face and then one of them just starts smiling, like I wouldn't know what to do. Like it'd be wild.
What? I would be so stuck. Like, what do I do?
Like, no, you didn't, twin. No, you didn't just wink at me like that. I saw you.
No, God.
You ain't slick. Yes, we got is this Ogum? Ogham Natures. This is more like nature readings. Or reading like tree bark, things like that. And then we got I Ching. Now I'm actually studying this in my school. So y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna put y'all on real quick. Okay, I'm gonna put y'all on because I don't think a lot of people know about this. So I'm gonna give y'all a little story time. Hopefully by the time I'm done with the story, we'll be done before. But so there was like I kept having these dreams about school. And at the time I wasn't in school. So it's kind of one of those things where I was like, okay, why am I having these dreams about school? I'm not in school. Like I'm going back to my old schools. Like, so it was weird. Like, I don't understand this. I don't get this. And then I just remember having one dream about school. And I just woke up and I told Spirit, I was like, if y'all want me to go back to school, I'm going to have to go to a school that's teaching, metaphysics or, things like that. Like, I don't want to go to a school and I'm just learning about math and science and I don't really care. I'm done with all that. Like high school did it for me. So when I had went on my website. I was trying to like fix my price for the Reiki service that I offer. And I was like matching prices to see like what other people's prices were, just to see like, was mine too expensive? Is it too cheap? Like, just trying to figure out, what a good like price range would be for Reiki. So I find a school called University of Metaphysical Sciences. And when I stumbled across it, it basically was the school that I wish I would have went to a long time ago. So this school basically comes with a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate. So I guess it just depends on your payment plan, because they have like a payment plan. So you can just pay for your classes outright, or you can take the cheap route. Like right now I'm doing like $25 a month for my classes, just because I, it just bills. Okay. Bills really be getting me. And I think the one above that was like either 50 or 75 a month. And I was like, I know I could do 25 a month. I don't know about 50, 75. But they got classes for gods and goddesses and like deities. They got classes for world religions. They got everything, like everything. And it made me think about I Ching, because I'm taking a class for that. Not
these
right
are
now.
Online classes?
Yeah, these are online, and it's at your own pace. So you're not being rushed to like take your quizzes or take your exams or anything.
I'm so sorry. What's the name?
I'm gonna send y'all a link. I'm gonna drop the link real quick so y'all can
Please.
look at it. Because hold on. Oh, I'm on Google. Actually, let me just show y'all real quick. Let me show y'all. Can you move this out the way? I don't know if it's in my saved stuff, but I'll take y'all on a little tour real quick. Okay, here we go. So this is basically the website. So this is like what it'll consist of. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link to, just so that y'all have it. Voila. So here we go. I'm gonna go to my student login so I can show y'all what the classes that I'm taking right now. I'll just go here. So meditation skills, world religions. They have a shadow work class, y'all.
What the hell? This is like, oh my gosh.
Come on now, like it's wild, right? Connect with angels, gods, goddesses, and mythology, psychic skills, enneagrams, and transforming personality. So with your bachelor's, you have to take the 40 classes in order to get your bachelor's. I don't mind it though, because this is so interesting. Now, I started with world religions. And when I started with world religions, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go ahead and get this one over with. I know it's gonna be boring. Y'all don't know how hooked I was when I was reading this shit. I've never been so attached to a textbook. Like I'm reading it and I'm just like, oh, it's like I wanted about all these different religions, and like it's interesting. And as I'm reading, I'm like taking notes and stuff. So it's one of those things where it's really fun, but it's also like you're learning something,
They send you actual textbooks, or
you can get actual textbooks. I have them downloaded on my laptop. So I just do it that way because it's cheaper and I don't have to worry about paying for the fee they got. Wait a damn minute. Well, we're gonna go back to that. I don't know what happened. Let me scroll right on through. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all that because that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to get my doctorate degree because they offer one. And all I have to do is, I think it's either 10,000 or something, 10,000 word dissertation. So got to do that in order to get my doctorate. But everything else, it's dope. Like, I just don't know how to like describe it. But one of my friends had signed up with me, and my other friend's supposed to be signing up. So have like a little study group or something, I guess. But yeah, it's lit. It's lit. So when Spirit showed me that, I was like, Spirit, don't play with me. Don't play with me, because I'll spend this money right now.
That's so beautiful.
It is. And it's cheap. You can pay $25 a month. And you gotta worry about it. And it's like it just stretches out the time period for like, you to get your degree. Whereas like if you pay it in full, you get everything all at once, which I feel is overwhelming. So I just would rather pay $25 a month and go from there. But different strokes for different folks. If you got the money to go ahead and pay for it, go for it. Go for it for sure. I wish I would have found it when I had got my taxes though, because I would have been paid for it. But it's cool. It's all good.
So for someone that is interested in because I hear you talk about Reiki a lot, and I know that is something that you do. What about like chakra energy work? Because for me, besides hoodoo, like the spiritual belief or practice that I feel connected to, besides that is chakra work, like energy healing work. So is that like is that in Reiki the same or totally different? Because I know Reiki is in the Japanese culture and chakra is Buddhism, correct?
Hinduism.
Well, Hinduism.
Yeah. But they actually do go hand in hand. So when I had learned about Reiki, I also learned about the chakra. Well, I already knew about the chakras, but she also taught like the chakras as well, since that's what we're targeting. So with the Reiki, it's basically hands-on healing, which does derive from Japanese culture, but even in the course that I was taking, she was letting us know, like, this is something that's been going on for ancient times. So even before the doctor discovered it, people were already doing it. And so it's one of those things that, just kind of gets passed down from generation to generation, especially when it comes to like the teachers and the practitioners. So they do work together. I kind of like to look at it as chakra cleansing, chakra balancing, when it comes to Reiki. And I think also with Reiki too, you could do so many different things. Like I can attune you to make the most money. Like I can attune you to feel more attractive. I can attune you for this or that. So, Reiki is one of those things where you can do anything with it, but a lot of people use it to target the chakras and bring those chakras to a balance, and bring you to an alignment, things like that. So Reiki is very fun and creative. It's one of those things where I can just kind of do my thing with it. So I'm a Reiki master now, so I can actually teach people Reiki. So we might take
I was
that
gonna say
approach.
because I feel because I like you said, when we go along our journey and we connect with certain religions or spiritual beliefs and things of that sort, and chakra work is like one of them that I feel connected to, but I didn't know if like in order to become like, did you need like a type of certification like Reiki or to become like a chakra practitioner or something like that? I wasn't sure, and I thought it was dope that you showed us that. So
yeah, it's dope. They actually have a Reiki class on there too. Now, you have to take all these classes, like every single, like they have over 40 different classes. And for your bachelor's, you have to take all of them. And Reiki's one of them. I don't know if they give like a certification for it specifically. I know a lot of people preach that you're supposed to have your certification for Reiki. I have mine, but I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like tarot. Like you can learn it and do it. You don't necessarily need to, have a certification. Like I don't have a certification in tarot, but I can read the fuck out of somebody's life. Like, so it's one of those things.
Right.
People have their own beliefs about it. I feel like, if you know what you're doing and you're doing enough research and you're learning, all the information and you're not misleading people, then I think that it's fine if you don't have your certification. But I think a lot of people like the fine print. Like a lot of people like to, know somebody's certified or, validated. Like, would you trust a doctor that didn't have a doctorate degree? It's one of those things where people just, I guess it's a trust thing. But, I'm very like free spirited. So those things like certification don't mean shit to me because we already certified. Like God, we already certified. God just already gave us these gifts. So what do we need a piece of paper to verify that for? But I think that's just how it is in modern times. People just feel you have to have specific credentials, which is valid to an extent. But all right, so we ready to move on to the lovers? I was about to go ahead and move on too. I was like, I think we're good though. I think we're good. All right, so we got the lovers here, y'all. The astrology sign, the zodiac sign for this is Gemini, which is very like, it's one of those things where like people already know, like you already know that the lovers is Gemini because it's, polarities. It's the, it's the male and the female or, whoever. It's just two people on a card and that just gives it away, I guess. I guess people just know, like, yep, Gemini. And as a Gemini, this is my card. So whatever your zodiac sign is, the card that is associated with that is basically your card, you know. And a lot of people do like their birthday, so they'll like add their birthday up with numerology, and then whatever the number is, that'll be their card, you know. Unless it's something that's like above 20, 21, then you might have to find a different number or add them together or something like that. But yeah, with the Lovers, this card was one of those cards I had to learn very quickly that it does not always have to do with love. Like, it doesn't always have to be like, oh, this is your twin flame. Like, some people will drive this card down people's throats as the twin flame card. And I don't think there's a twin flame card. I think twin flame connections are things you feel on a spiritual level. And a tarot card is not going to verify that for you unless you got a really good reader that can connect with, you know, spirit rather than, you know, just trying to figure that out through tarot cards. I think it's better to, you know, have that connection.
Intuitive.
Yeah, like you have
that
to
intuitive
connect
input
to get that information. Like, you can't just be like, oh yeah, you got the Lovers, it's your twin flame. I just think that's very misleading.
Agreed.
And I think that gets a lot of people stuck in badass situations. Like, I've seen a lot of people try to come to me and be like, can you tell me this person's my twin flame? I went to a tarot reader, and they said that this is my twin flame. I'm like, what card tells you that? What card says twin flame? You know, like the Lovers, I see the Lovers as the card where spirit is bringing us together, like kind of like the Hierophant. You know, we go from God initiating something to being initiated in something. So the relationship can be karmic, the relationship can be toxic, it could be so many different things, because when you look at the tarot card in the Rider-Waite, it's two paths being split. So we could either go on the same path or we could move different ways. So it doesn't always mean like we're meant to be together. Like, people will really drill that in other people's heads when they're giving readings. And that's why I'll just be like, nope. Don't ask me about twin flames, especially when I'm on live. Like, do not ask me about twin flames, because I can't tell you nothing about a twin flame with these cards. I'm gonna have to do some ancestor venerating, because at that point, your ancestors gonna tell me, or I'm gonna dive in your Akashic records and we're gonna figure it out together. But yeah, I just think it's a bad idea to give out twin flame readings with tarot cards. But people gonna do what they want to do. I just think it puts people in fucked up situations. And I would hate to be that person. Like, they come to me and they be like, he put his hands on me. He did all this to me. You said he was my twin flame. I'm like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Right. I feel like that separates
situation.
the real from the fake too.
Yeah.
By, you know, because me personally, and that's why I always like to get my questions done by you, because you don't give that bookly, you know, type of reading. Yeah. It's very intuitive. So that's how I know that you're tapped into your higher self, because I like that intuitive reading, that tapped in spiritual reading. Don't give me that book shit.
Right. They're like, hold on, let me grab my book real quick and read the cards for you. Oh, so it looks like really? Like, you just gonna sit here and give a reading from the book. Which, I mean, if you're a beginner, that's cool. Like, if you're a beginner, because that's what I did when I started. But if somebody's paying you for a reading and you get to pull out your book, and that's where I just lose all faith. I'm like, nope.
And doing it to multiple people at that, big red flag.
Yeah, because then you're giving the same message to everybody. Like, you know, like when I'm on live, I'll give people readings. Sometimes the same card comes out. Guess what? The card's not gonna mean what it just meant 2 seconds ago. You know, it's gonna be something totally different. Because there'll be times where I'll pull cards and then the same cards come out for the next person. And I'm like, I don't know how. Like, I'd be like, y'all just saw me shuffle, right? Y'all just saw me shuffle these cards. I don't know how we got to this point where the card just comes back out again. But sometimes people need to either hear the same message or they need to hear a message in different ways, you know? So spirit ain't gonna play. Now, with the Lovers, we'll go back to this. This does not have to be romantic. This could be a teacher coming into your life. This could be a lesson coming into your life. This could be a partner as far as business goes. All of that. Like, it doesn't have to be love. Like, you know, I think the Lovers is just a play on words, because, you know, we're all lovers, you know, to the root. Like, that's our core. We love. We're here to love. We're here to share and exchange love. So people think of love, their mind goes straight to romance, and it's cool. But we're all here to love collectively. Like, we're here to love and, you know, be one, you know, and some people just don't get that idea from the Lovers, because it just looks like, oh, love, but it's like, okay, you could love your mom, like it could be your mom right there, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic partner. So that's why even with this one, I put the different things that it can mean, because it doesn't always mean soulmate. It doesn't always mean a twin flame. Sometimes it can mean you got a boss coming in, you got a new job coming in, you got this coming in, that coming in, because it's all about the path. And another thing I'm gonna teach you guys, I'm not gonna show y'all this yet, but I'm gonna give y'all a little hint at it, because I think I mentioned it last week too. But with the Major Arcana, this is a whole story. Every single card's tied into one another, just like with the Hierophant. This is God calling us in to a specific path. That path brings us to the Lovers, whereas we're merged into a path with another person. So God is bringing other people into a specific chapter of our lives. When that chapter closes, we go to the next card, which is the Chariot, which is travel, moving forward, changing your direction, feeling more confident, feeling more in tune. So, sometimes we have to encounter these people so that we can move on to our next chapter, which is what the Chariot is going to indicate. So these cards are way more connected than people think. And I guess some people just look at them like this is an individual card, like this is it, that's it. But when you really look at it, you start to read it like it's a book, it starts to make a lot more sense, So that's another thing that I'll teach you guys, how to read the Major Arcana fluently, along with the Minor Arcana too, because with the suits, they tell their own story too. So they're kind of like mini Major Arcanas.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm just super excited to teach y'all that, because it's going to make y'all's reading style a lot more easier, and it won't feel like like it's textbook shit. Like, oh, I'm just gonna pull this. Like, it's gonna come naturally to you. And that's how I want everybody to come out of this, feeling more like they can read, and be confident in reading. Like, we can read, but like, can you read? Let me make sure y'all come out of this the greatest tarot readers ever. Okay. So I didn't really go into detail with this one because I feel like I just had to say the most important thing. It's like, this isn't just love. Well, I mean, it is love, but it's not romance. Like, it's not romantic love. It's like platonic love. It's, universal love. It could be any type of love.
Self-love.
Exactly. Like, sometimes people are sent on our path to teach us how to love ourselves. Some people are sent on our path to teach us how to be more consistent, or how to be more patient, or how to be this or that. So it's one of those things where it's like, anybody could come into your life. That don't mean that they're trying to sleep with you. It don't mean they're trying to marry you. Like, sometimes people just come in to teach us something that, we weren't able to teach ourselves, So that one, I'm gonna just keep that as the initial message, just because I don't want that message to get lost in these other meanings. So y'all can write those down if y'all want to. But just remember, lovers does not equate to romantic love in relationships. It could be so many different things. But yeah.
I love how you said like the tarot is kind of like a book, because I noticed that like sometimes when I'm like, you know what, I just need to brush up, let me look at my cards and just really look. I feel like when you also do that as well, it does sharpen your sight. Because especially like how you said, when you're able to really look deeply into the cards and be very observant. Like for me, I notice when I'm doing, especially if I'm doing it on myself, they'll draw me to certain colors in the card, or like if a card has like a main color, like the main color is like yellow or light blue, and I'm just like, why do they keep drawing me to this color on this card?
Yeah.
So like you said, just having just that really observant and sharp eye, like they really love that.
Yeah, because sometimes, like for me, it'll be the numbers, and other times it'll be the color. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's the little symbols around the cards. Like, the spirit's gonna point certain things out to you, and I love that, because it's like it brings something more to the card. So the next time I see it, I see the color, I see the symbol, I see the number, and now I can just put that all in one reading, and boom, somebody's got all the information they've been needing or missing out on, and I love when those hidden details and the cards just pop out. Like, I remember one time, I don't remember what card it was. I think it was like the King of Pentacles or something. It was one of the court cards. And I just remember seeing like a face in the card. And I was like, hold on, that means something.
Wow.
That means something. There's something going on. There's another deck that I have. It's an oracle deck, but it's got like faces in the background of the cards too, kind of, you know, resembling spirit, you know, in a way. So yeah, I love stuff like that because it's like, you know, you pointed out that one time, you're not gonna forget it. You're not gonna forget about it. You're gonna be looking at it every time you look at the card. You're like, yep, I see that right there. There's another message for you. So then it goes from,
yes,
I see a lot of people, they'll like pull like multiple cards and like, you know, have a whole like pile of cards just sitting there trying to get a message. But when you start to read them cards, you ain't gonna need that many, honestly. I like to pull multiple cards. It's fun, but it's like, you know, you can read when you don't even need that many cards. Like I'll pull 3 cards and people are like, oh, whoa. I think I just did something magical, but that's when you start to really read the card itself. Like you start to get more in depth, you start to get pulled into it, you know? So that way you don't need to pull like 12 different cards for a message. Unless like for me, like on live, I'll do like 3 cards just because of time. But in my sessions, oh, I'm pulling whatever spirit is urging me to pull, I'm pulling it all.
yes.
Whole deck coming out. Just because it's one of those things where it's not necessarily like it has a time period, but I don't time the readings unless I have somebody going next or whatever. But usually if people like my client today, I only have one client today, and our session was like 40 minutes and she booked a 15-minute session. Like I just be going all in. I don't be caring about time. Like, I don't know if I need to be more punctual in that sense, but it's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't bother me that we went over 30 something minutes, you know? It's like, it's one of those things where you needed that message, you know, you needed that information, you know? So that's why I just love what I do. That's how you know you love what you do, when you don't care about going over, like you spend extra time
right.
on the
Absolutely.
It's the greatest thing ever. And it feels good to do this because like, I didn't want to work a job the rest of my life, you know? So it's like, I got lucky, honestly. Like this came out of nowhere. Like when I say I moved from Louisville, coming back home to here, like where I'm at right now. And I wasn't really thinking about tarot cards. I mean, I was spiritual at the time because I was doing a lot of meditating, a lot of journaling and, you know, stuff like that. But when it came to like card readings, I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I could do that. And then I saw Janae Aiko was doing like a reading on herself. She's like, she uses it for personal guidance. I was like, oh, maybe I could do that. So I didn't go to the spiritual shop for the, you know, intention of getting tarot cards. I went to go get some crystals. And then I saw the tarot cards. I'm like, yep, I'm getting the deck. I'm getting it. It's here. I might as well. So never put the cards down since. And it's about to be 4 years.
Wow.
It's crazy. Time is flying. It's wild.
I was gonna say time is going so.
I swear, like how do we get here?
Because I myself started doing tarot, reading tarot the beginning of this year. So this next year coming up will make it a full year. But as far as like spirituality and stuff, like I've had, which I'm pretty sure a lot of queens in here done had the experiences when they were younger and stuff, but you know, grown in a Christian household, not talked about, suppressed, possibly demonized. But like I said earlier, I always felt like, you know, something was just missing. Like I always felt like this wasn't it. Like I was always open, and I just felt like this just wasn't the end all be all. And then when I went through my first spiritual awakening came through, and I just started questioning my whole entire existence about how I grew up and my relationship with my parents. So that's how that kicked off. But as far as like my psychic abilities and things of that nature coming to blossom and actually working with them, I started earlier this year. So, and I've been, you know, following empresses like you that is just beautiful and sharing your journey and, you know, giving us clarity, and just it's amazing to watch the growth and just be able to grow with you. So
don't make me cry. I love that though. I love that I impact people because, you know, it was, I don't know, when I had first started my page, I don't know, I was just posting shit. It was kind of like a spam for me where I just post stuff and just, you know, do whatever. And then it got to a point where I'm being vulnerable. I'm talking about my life. I'm posting messages. I'm doing all these different things. So it's like, it's crazy to even, look at my page now and be like, damn, I got a lot of support. I have a lot of people that, tune in for a live, tune in for a horoscope. Like, it's crazy. And it's like, who would have thought picking up a damn tarot deck would have changed my life, So
yes,
it's definitely a blessing for sure. And I'm glad y'all get to be a part of it. I don't know what I'd do without y'all. Yeah, my babies.
And like you said, when you have those people tell you that, how they're crying and how you gave them a new perspective, like that is like the best form of payment to me.
I swear.
Like, oh my gosh, when someone says you helped me, you gave me clarity, you gave me a new perspective, like that just, it does something to me.
Yeah, because it's
yeah.
Whoa, like I'm impacting people on a whole other level. This isn't music. This isn't a book. Like this is just, it's very intimate, it's very personable. Like it's not one of those things where, it's, oh, I just listened to your song. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no,
yes.
like I'm getting to know you, like you getting to know me.
On a
We're having
soul
a
level.
like this is an intimate exchange. Like that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do is, exchange with people. And, my inner child is proud because when I was growing up, I just have this vivid memory of me just being like, I want to be a therapist. I want to be, a psychologist. Like that was my goal.
Yes. Oh my God.
that was my dream job, like as a kid. So the fact that I'm doing something similar to that, just chef's kiss. And it's something that I didn't have to go to school for, something I didn't have to pay lots of money for. I paid $20 for a tarot deck and ended up making, I ain't gonna throw it out there, but I ended up making a lot of money with my taxes. That's all I'm gonna say. Them taxes came through. Taxes came through. Did I blow the money? Yes, I did. I blew it.
That is so dope how you said that, because I was always that kid too. And that's how I found out that I actually had the gift of empathy as well. Right. Like I've always wanted to do something where I was helping people. And like I remember telling my dad that too, like I want to do something where I'm helping people. Like, girl, I used to call myself wanting to go to psychology school, want to be a counselor. I'm like, it's 8 years. Oh hell no.
Man, what? Like it's one of those things where you don't think that's where you're gonna end up. Like you don't think you're gonna be doing the dream job you had, because people will say like, oh, what you want to do as a kid is gonna change. Like, no, it didn't change for me. That's why I'm going to get my doctorate now, because I still want to have that certification as far as like being a psychiatrist. Like, I don't want it to be on no like, oh, I'm just a wannabe psychologist, like I don't want to be no fraud out here taking this serious.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love that. I love that we've, been able to make so many great connections tonight too. Like it's just been very like liberating. Like this has been a really nice conversation. Like the vibes are always great on Mondays. Like I love Mondays. Like it's one of those things where people are like, oh, I hate Mondays. This makes me love Mondays because I look forward to this. I look forward to these conversations. I look forward to just being in y'all's presence and sharing this information with y'all. Like it's lit.
Same.
I look forward to this. It's a good vibe.
Yes. And I also wanted to tell you something too, because I don't know why I'm being pushed to say something to you, but I want you to know that you have your wildest dreams and more that is on its way to you. And you just don't understand that the whole world and more is on its way to you. Keep manifesting, keep networking, and putting yourself out there, because you just don't understand what the universe has in store for you. You're not even scraping the surface of what the top of the universe has for you. And I want you to know that you seriously are inspiring a lot of us out here. And I want you to know that everything you do does not go in vain. So keep doing your shit, girl. Seriously.
Thank you, Boo. Thank you.
I second that.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all the best. I love that. Yeah, I think look, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. I think I met my soulmate. Okay, I don't know if they my soulmate, but they gotta be my soulmate. Ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no
shit
way.
now.
I was telling my friend Ty today, like, I have old journal entries of like me manifesting my significant other and how I want them to look and all that. This motherfucker got every single thing. Done checked all the boxes.
All shit.
The boxes. So
have you divined on it yet?
I did I did a spread the day after we went on a date, and it was good because I was worried. Like, I was like, is he gonna text me? Like, is he gonna want to talk to me after this? Like, is he just gonna block me and never see me again? And the message was basically saying like he's gonna message you, like, chill. And then he messaged me literally right after I put my cards up. I was like, what the hell? What? So we're still talking. We're still good. We're still Gucci. I just don't know where things are going. Now he has me doing this thing where like I basically write out like, you know, something to him, basically letting him know how I'm feeling daily. So I'm gonna put that in there tonight. I'm like, yes, I'm really feeling you and I want to be I'm gonna take it there. I'm like, yeah, I really like the way you do this and do that. Like, I'm trying to get with you and see what he says.
Go smack.
I like it. I'm really feeling you, dude. So I might do that. He wanted to be in the episode, I think it was Thursday. And purposely I didn't give him the link because I was like, no, I don't want you to see me like this. Like, I'm real vulnerable when I'm like talking about this stuff. Like, you know, that's one of those things I'm like, oh, I don't like, y'all can join. Like, I have no problem with that. But when it's somebody that I like, I'm like, no, like, you can't join. I'm like, and I get real passionate. I get so passionate to a point where I'm just
Is he a water sign?
Okay, so this is the crazy part. So in sidereal, he's a Cancer. And then in tropical, he's a Leo. So yes, he's a water sign. Because I go off of sidereal anyway. So yes, he is.
Do y'all understand how that works? Like, because inside, after y'all were talking about it in the chat, I looked it up. And I'm a Pisces and tropical, but I'm an Aquarius and sidereal.
Yeah.
So, but I'm an Aquarius rising and tropical. So it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, it's still like kind of my personality. But then I got Capricorn and Virgo, and these are signs that I never even studied because I didn't have them in my yours. Big three.
Yeah. Yes. So with tropical goes based off the season. So like fall, winter, summer, spring. That's what tropical is based off of. Sidereal is more based off of the actual star constellations and things like that. So that's probably the best way I can explain it. If only Ty was here, he'd tell y'all the truth.
Do you find it out? Yes,
I'm telling y'all the truth.
What confused me is like if the sun, like, how does the sun sign change? Like, what, like the sun not
with the dates? Like, I'll do Gemini, for example. Like, Gemini season don't start until like June. Like, Gemini season starts in June instead of it starting in May. So if you're born in May and you're a Gemini, now you're a Taurus. So it's the dates that change. The dates change. And for somebody that asked, how do you know? They have sidereal natal charts. So if you know your birth time, you can put all that information in to get the most accurate natal chart out of it. But if you don't, you can still get it and still have some accurate information as to what changes.
I'm so sorry. Sidereal.
Yeah, sidereal.
What blows me away is the fact that my big three and both of them make fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Capricorn rising in sidereal, and I'm a Virgo moon in sidereal, and I'm looking up videos about this. I'm like, oh my God, this makes sense too. Like, yes, I'm so confused. Right. Like, my life is
I relate to that too. No, see, for me, it was like one of those things where I'm like, there's more to the natal chart. Like, I'm not just my sun sign. Like, that was the mind blown moment that I had. I was like, you mean to tell me I'm not just a Gemini? Like, I'm sitting here Gemini gang all day, every day. And I'm a Taurus moon and I'm a Capricorn rising. And I'm a, like, what the heck? Yeah, like that blew me.
Oh, that's funny. My daughter is a Gemini.
That blew me too.
Taurus moon.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm more than this? What?
Yes, that shit blew my mind. I was like, are you serious? You mean to tell me?
I'm as well, so that explains why you're such a foodie.
Yeah, yes, I really am. That's why I show my food all the time. I'm like, y'all gonna see this natal chart in full screen. Yes. Make sure y'all know what my zodiac signs are. But yeah, with tropical, I like to see tropical as more of like the ego, like you know, it's more of like the fated life, right? Like this is just a life that we're just like, if we don't follow our destiny, we just gonna be stuck living like this. And then I see like sidereels more like, you know, your destiny, like what you're really called to do, what, you know, God has planned for you. And then we have a draconic chart, and a draconic chart is what I like to look at is like the soul, your consciousness. So it's a lot. There's a lot of different types of astrology. Yes. And I think there's more than that too. Yeah,
I'm gonna look into that though. Let me not, because that's me having like a resistant energy. Like I embrace all of it. I'm actually excited to learn it, but I was just getting into tropical. Like, oh my God, I really understand this. And then y'all said sidereal. I'm like, wait, more? Like the more you learn, you really realize you know absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the rabbit hole goes deep with astrology, man. They got medical astrology, like they got so many different types of forms. Like, yeah, and if y'all want to learn more about astrology, we got Astrology Wednesday, so y'all can sign up for Wednesday. The event's already up there, so if y'all want to learn more about astrology, I have an astrologer as my co-host, so he can answer all y'all's questions. I mean, I can too, but like he's the pro. He's the real pro here. I'm the pro with tarot. Like we be swapping information. Like I'll be asking about, you know, astrology stuff. He'd be asking me about tarot stuff. So we work good in that dynamic because I know a lot about astrology, but there's things that he knows that I don't know about. So, you know, it's a good exchange. But yeah, y'all, I have been on here for almost 2 hours. So we are going to wrap it up here. But next week we will go through, I think we'll do 6 of the Major Arcanas next Monday, since we already covered these. So we should be good next week to just go all the way up to I don't remember which card. Well, I know we got the Hermit and then I think Temperance, something like that. I don't know. But we'll get all those things situated. I'll try to configure. Well, actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload it to YouTube and I'll put it in the group chat so that way I can just look at it that way. But yeah, y'all take care. Y'all have an amazing night. I love y'all. Y'all have some great food.
Thank you.
You too.
I love you guys. But y'all take care. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.